Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and Johnny's coming right back at you right after this. So grab some Christmas music. We're gonna go caroling after this. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Johnny. So I called this episode Christmas Carols and Cyberattacks or something like that. And then I put a picture of my husband with the Grinch and Trump from this weekend. I'm supposed to take my son Christmas caroling after this. But I wanted to share a story. The hospital here in Tulsa got hit with a ransomware cyber attack. And here we are, it's like 5 days later, and they just got their system back up, but they left the billing is still not available. So nobody's getting a bill. Everybody's got free healthcare from Hillcrest Hospital in Tulsa for Christmas. And there was one other thing that was
Merry
left off.
Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. And it made me think of like how they were talking about everybody's throwing this blackout idea around, but we watched that one movie and it was like just a internet blackout. And I was having some trouble with my internet for a few days there. And like, it made me think as they transition this system and the money stuff goes down. I saw another article about Citigroup is transitioning their bank model to get rid of their bonds and their bad debt or something like that, but they're keeping their other parts of the bank open. And so I wondered, like, it may not look like what we thought it would, like a hard stop, all the lights out, no heat, no air, no Wi-Fi. I'm just curious what you're seeing and what you think might happen over the holiday season, if anything.
I've been seeing a lot of disruptions and outages, but where the stuff comes back in, but an unprecedented amount of service disruptions, if that makes sense.
Like for a short period of time and then it resumes, or
yeah,
like,
for short periods of time, very short periods of time I'm seeing them, but it's not onesie twosies, it's a lot. So whenever something's occurring a lot, it becomes mathematically unlikely and statistically impossible. There's not going to do a hard stop to reset the system. Remember what I've always said, they're going to do it where the public doesn't really know what's going on. That's the best way for them to do it. They can roll out a new currency on everybody without anybody having any clue they're using a new currency. They can do it all through the banks, the big banks, the Visa, MasterCard payment system, and the digital wallets that are in the bank accounts. And they could literally have you transfer your money to a different account within that bank, connected to a Visa card that's connected to Apple Pay. So you go up and you tap to pay just like you do now. Money gets transferred from your bank account to the merchants. You just think it's business as usual. The merchant just thinks it's business as usual. Meanwhile, that Visa card could be connected to a different currency that's in your bank account. How would the public realize what's going on? That's what the public sees now. They're not monetary experts.
They just see numbers, but they don't know. Is it USD, USDT, US?
They could just call it US whatever, US coin or something like that. They could just, they probably would call it USD and just say it's valued in USD. It'll have an exchange rate to USD, but it's a different currency. Kind of like if you use Bitcoin right now and you go to send it, it'll say how much USD do you want to send worth of Bitcoin. So why would that new currency they roll out look any different? I mean, they'll totally not let the public realize what's going on. But the only thing the public will get a little bit of wind of is it'll be a cashless account. So then the bank won't even really know the people that work there. They'll just be like, oh yeah, you can't withdraw cash from that account for some reason.
And they just don't have it. I was watching this guy, I think he's
Yeah.
it was either a reseller or a gun guy. I can't remember what we were watching. And he was not into cryptocurrency, or he's not, in our loop of things. And he was saying that he got a Christmas bonus, and he didn't say how much, but he said it was in the thousands, or was a 4-digit. And he said the girl looked at him like she had 4 heads, and she's like, I can't cash that. We don't have that much here. And I thought, they don't have like less than 10 grand in the bank, like at the bank. And so she had to go to every teller and get physical cash paper to be able to cash his check for his Christmas bonus. And then she said it was late enough in the day that her boss, the branch manager, let him cash his check. And he said that earlier this summer he had a similar problem, just getting exchanging. Oh, I can't remember which way it was, if it was getting $500 bills or getting change for $500 bills. But so it does seem like they're trying to cut paper out of the system, which makes sense. I did wonder too, when that Milei, the Venezuelan, is it Venezuela? The new president that got voted in, that everybody was
Malay, like Javier
Milei.
Malay or whatever. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
When he made the statement that he was going to stabilize their currency by using US dollar, the more that I thought about it, I wondered if it was a possibility that he's using the new gold-backed US dollar. If we go to a gold-backed dollar, like what Texas is talking about doing, and all of that. If we've already done that, if we're already there and the American public just hasn't been told, and but he knows, and that's why he said that out loud. Could something like that be happening over the holidays or over Christmas? Because those banking laws change on January 1st, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just think I think the outages are all related to cyber attacks personally. Okay. And they won't ever let you know there's a cyber attack in the banking system. They'll tell you about it when it's the hospital, but not the banking system.
I see.
Now this is going back years ago. I saw a big cyber attack occur with a payment processor. They denied it up and down. And I kind of backed them into a corner. And I said, no, this was some type of attack because it happened all in the same industry. It was all hair salons that had this same thing occur. And they just, every time I asked, they were like, gave me an excuse. They gave me an excuse. I said, this didn't all happen to hair salons at once. Come on.
Right.
And they tried to kind of get me to, so I saw their games they were up to then, but, I think you'll see outages. You'll see stuff go down, but I don't think now there might be where there might be disruption is the business not getting the money for a period of time. I think they'll make it so the card works at the counter. If your people's cards don't work, if they don't get money out of the ATM, people aren't used to cash anyways. Mm-hmm. But if they can't use their card at that business, that's a different story. That would freak people out. They need to keep people calm.
But that could float for a few days through the Visa MasterCard system, right?
Sure. I've talked about this before where they could float it for a while where they would just do it where you're able to use your card. The merchant thinks they're getting paid. They don't actually get a deposit. And then they start calling the payment processor, like the people like me that put in the equipment. We go back to the people that we ask for the info. They're giving us an excuse to tell the business. A couple days go by. Now, before you know it, a week's gone by or a little over a week because the business doesn't get their money right away anyways. It takes a couple days. So now they're waiting on payments for 6 or 7 business days, say. Now they're kind of in too deep. Well, they can't just pull the plug on it completely at that point because they're going to be like, well, you guys owe me this much money. And we're like, don't worry, it's checks in the mail kind of thing. Right. Wink, wink, wink. Right. And then they'll make it available in that new account that I was talking about. Where, hey, you can't get cash out of this account, but it's
download this app. We're gonna
not even download this app. Right in your existing app that you sign into, they'll just have a new bank account in there. Kind of like how you could transfer money between accounts now. Mm-hmm. It'll be an account that you could transfer money into. I think it'll be like a bottomless pit you could transfer in, but not out. Once your money goes into that, it's like quicksand.
Yeah. And one time you said something about, and they'll incentivize, like, if you do it before this date, we'll give you an added 5% or 1% or whatever to incentivize.
I think they will give people, they'll throw the kitchen sink at people to use that new account. Whatever it takes, they'll give you a bonus to put your money in there. Mm-hmm. They'll give you probably higher interest and a bonus. And then they'll start penalizing you to use the old account. Like they'll start hitting the old account with like an account monitoring fee, an account maintenance fee, and they'll chip away at you that way. Cash handling fee, different fees where the other account's going to be not only free, but you're getting higher interest and a bonus to move into it. And they'll move people over that way. And then people are used to Venmo and transferring money around digitally right now. So for most people, if you tell them they can't use cash, this seems like, well, I don't really use cash anyways. You know, it doesn't really affect my life. And that's how they'll do it. I don't think we'll see a hard stop. I think
I'm sorry. Isn't Zelle used by Citigroup or not Citigroup? Zelle is used by like
Zelle's used by all the banks, but I believe Bank of America owns Zelle.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. I knew that it was like one of the most used group was or app. So I kind of felt like they might use that one.
Zelle's 100%. Zelle will link up with the new accounts for sure. For sure.
Would they have to have a new account, or could they just use your existing account and switch it over without you even knowing? Or would you have to opt in? Would you have to would you have to give consent to the new account and the new rules? Or would they just say, oh, new terms of agreement, it's a new year, we've updated terms of service, click here, and that would be all we had to do?
That's all it takes. They'll just send something digitally, updated terms of service, click here, click to agree. Then you're agreed to the new rules. You're in that new account. That's it. They won't, I don't see however else they're going to do it. That's the way, people thought digital currency and they think, well, how's the public going to do that? I said, it's going to work through Visa. That's the rails only railway that's in these systems, Visa, like Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and Amex. There's no other way in and out of commerce in the United States at the counter when you pay. So that's going to be the only way in and out. Um, it flows smooth. It tricks people. It's what they're used to. 99% of the public won't know. There's people like us that'll get it. We'll be like, wait a second. These aren't Fed notes. Now, if they release this currency fairly, if it was a U.S. note issued by the Treasury, perhaps, maybe if it was a debt-free instrument, maybe they could release it where it's a good thing.
Okay.
I mean, what if the good guys are behind it and it's actually some type of sound money or currency? Maybe it has something like MWeb attached to it where you have some type of privacy when you utilize it. And maybe a digital currency is worth thinking. They can see everything you do, but maybe there's a privacy layer within it. We have heard some politicians that are on our side saying that a digital currency would need to have privacy.
Yeah.
They have spoken at like that time, I think Tom Emmer and some other people. So what's to say that it couldn't be rolled out? And we're just thinking it's going to be.
We're thinking that, and they're really showing, like I keep telling that everybody and their dog is sending me the Great Taking video, which I appreciate it, but I have known about it for a while, thanks to mostly my wonderful mother that graciously educated me years ago about a lot of this stuff, and a lot of great people like Johnny that I've learned so much from, and TPA, and a lot of the people that I do my shows with. I'm learning from Uncle Cliff and Westwood and Bitcoin Ben, of course, Bixweir, all of these, great patriots that I've learned so much from. But I think right now they are pushing, I think even the good guys are wanting everyone to wake up and learn what the plan was, all the bad stuff, because so that it's never repeated. Like right now we do have blockchain, and history has to be documented so that it will never be repeated. And we have to know about the old plans that were hidden from us, that they were going to put us in old abandoned Walmarts with concertina wire pointed in. And there were stickers on conservative people's mailboxes of who they were going to pick up and who they weren't. And there was plans to do really horrible things to really good people, and that needs to be known. And so there is that exposure that will come out and is coming out. They need to know about the Great Taking, and we are seeing some of that play out. But I do believe the good guys are in control. I listened to Jim Willie. He was on my show not too long ago. If you guys haven't seen that video, you have to go to Rumble and watch it. But I just got kicked off of Rumble when I tried to turn this video on. So I don't know if that's just my Wi-Fi still acting up or if I got kicked off Rumble now. I never know what's going on.
So, he's always entertaining and informative, Jim Willie. He was just on with John Claude.
Yeah.
I watched his show that you did with him. Excellent stuff. He's not only entertaining and a good speaker, he's informative and educated and a smart man. So I always like his stuff.
And he's saying that the financial crash of this has to happen under, Sleepy Joe, and that it will be before. I mean, he's line in the sand. It will be before June.
I heard him saying June's his
before June. Date. Yeah. So
my thing is, I would just wonder how much are they going to let us kind of know about, or are they going to do an event to distract us? Lisa, I like what you're saying before about we don't want people to forget. We want to document stuff on the block. They had really evil plans. I mean, they had, people would say, well, how do you know all this stuff? I saw the apps that they were working on for the systems, for the for the passport, you know, the one that you have to get a shot to go into places,
Mm-hmm.
that was going to be a check-in requirement in these systems. They had everything ready to go. And, you know, supposedly with Trump, with Operation Warp Speed, it pushed it ahead so much that it kind of didn't give them their chance to get everything in place.
So part of that, Apple just pulled their latest watch for this winter for, you know, every year they come out with a new whatever, because they are infringing on somebody's patent for the whatever sensor. And, you know, um, supposedly we were going to be, you know, people always have the, you know, chip in your hand. That's like the 666 sign of the devil, blah, 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 all that stuff. And there's big conversations going around about what's biblical and not, and who put that in, where that information came from and all that. And everybody can have their own conversations and discuss all that. But if you think about it, our phone's in our hand all the time. That's a chip in your hand,
Sure.
as it is, whether it's inserted with a needle or you just carry it around. But also a watch is like on your wrist, in your hand, close to your hand, right there. If that sensor was going to be, or something like that, or if they were sending signals to, there's something called Briar, that is an app or a technology where you don't need Wi-Fi or internet for devices to send messages or signals to communicate. They can use any form of frequency, radio, whatever, as long as both the app is open on both devices. It's kind of like the helium miners, but it uses any kind of
Oh,
frequency.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, to send messages. And
Interesting.
so in theory, like if there was a cyber attack or hack, if everybody had the Briar app on their device and then they all had them open, it's like you could do a train or
Interesting.
to pass
Everybody,
messages.
let's look into that more.
Yeah, maybe
You
we
know,
should.
we win by moving forward fast. That's why my beef with the crypto community. We played right into the hands of what the bad guys want: infighting, fight with each other, yell shitcoin,
Yeah.
do all this stuff. And like I said, we had our shot in 2017, 2018. You know, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, you know, Bitcoin will go up in price, but we have to fight the train left the station for that. So yes, the people that know about it like us will do well financially. But as far as use goes in the financial system and all that, the train left the station. So we can use crypto peer-to-peer and stuff, but it's not. We had a shot to get things more integrated into the system and really win by fighting, but we sat there like
This is like even the Apple though. Like when number go up got too distracting and they chased the number instead of working on the technology and choosing freedom, you know, and I was guilty of it too. I mean, it's really hard not to look at that shiny thing, you know, and we gave up our freedom for chasing the dollar, you know.
My thing was, why not both? And we, like I always said, I want to make money too. I mean, that's the American dream. You make money, you have a good time, you enjoy yourself, you spend.
But you have to remember why you want to make money. You want to make money because in America, we think money brings us happiness. So it's not that you want to make money. It's that you want the things that the ideal that money provides, which is freedom, happiness, being able to gift things to your friends and family, the opportunities that money provides.
Just because we're chasing money or chasing wealth or whatever, and we're getting distracted by the number, which it is. It's like gambling. It is a rush. We didn't have to, like, we didn't do it, Lisa. We always talked about using crypto. We did both. The Litecoin community, I have to say, did
Yeah.
both.
They
But
continue to build and
we
grow.
were
Yeah.
we were met with such resistance from like Bitcoin maximalists and these other coins, and a lot of too much infighting. So, so I say the train left the station as far as like using crypto like in person kind of thing, like integrated into the finance. Right now, they have too much control. They slowed it down and they said, we're going to, you know what? We're going to take complete and total control. We'll let number go back up again. Sure. Number going up is built into the code. It's inevitable, but we're going to let number go up. And now it's in our stadium or our field. We were playing on our own field. We said, hey, we're playing by our own set of rules. Like I always said, we have rules. Those rules are rules for a typewriter. We're in this field. And now it's like they said, well, we blew up your field. We burned the other fields you guys are working on. Now you have to come back to our field. We'll let you guys get wealthy, but you're playing in this field.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing with the ETF. That's why the ETF is a trap. People are rooting for it, and it's a trap. It is the derivative. It is them. It is they controlling the Bitcoin.
It's a trap, but it's going to definitely send the price up. That for sure. So it's not going to be a trap for the price of Bitcoin. It's going to be a trap for the use of crypto, and it's going to be a trap for freedom.
For freedom.
That's where the problem is going to be. So while it's going to be great, sure, Bitcoin might go to hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin. It might go so crazy. There might be such a frenzy. You might not be able to buy Bitcoin that's not in an ETF in the future.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that those weak hands will be so, when it gets to, it'll be the same thing that, who was talking about it? Some silver guy was talking about, they've had these people that have held on to silver so long. Well, I think it was Jim and Willie talking about those people that have held on to silver so long that when it hits 50, they're just going to dump it. They're going to be like, oh, thank God.
Oh, I got my money back kind of thing.
Yeah. And then it's going to go 80, 100, and it's going to keep climbing because it will break that mental thing, and they'll never be able to touch it again. They can't get back in. They'll never be able to get back in again. And those weak hands will not get back in. And the same thing's going to happen to Bitcoin, because people they'll feel like they got screwed because they bought it when Bitcoin was going up, and when it was, I don't know, 40, 50,000 or whatever, maybe, more. And then they'll sell because it's been held down now. And then they're never going to be able to touch it again. They'll never be able to get back in again.
I think we end on a rule for everybody, Lisa. So I got to get rolling too, but I think we end on a rule. Don't sell your hard currency for weak fiat currency. But if you have stuff to buy or stuff you have to do, that's okay. So if you have to do something with your housing situation, maybe you need a new vehicle, you need something to improve your life, do it. If you made money and got wealth from holding Bitcoin, do it. But I think the rule on this show would be, don't sell your Bitcoin, your Litecoin, your silver, your gold, so you can look at money in a bank account.
Right.
And like, ooh, I'm rich. Ooh, I'm rich. That's not the idea of this. You moved out of, that's like going back onto the freaking Titanic and saying, now I got a suite.
I got a front row seat. Yeah.
You got a suite. And that ship is going down, you idiot.
Yeah.
So I say we end on that.
That's great. Well, Merry Christmas, Johnny. It's great to see you.
Yes.
Give your girls big hugs for me.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
We're going to
go,
Lisa. La 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 la.
Merry Christmas. I should have worn a Christmas sweater. I'm sorry, but Merry Christmas out there, everybody. Love the show. Great year. And I'll see you next week. I guess it'll be before that. We could do kind of like a New Year's show.
Yeah, we can do like a wrap up.
Like wrap up the year and what to expect. We'll do a good show next week.
Yeah, that'll be great. All right. You guys take care. Merry Christmas.
Later, guys.